What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm sorry about that. I'm stuttering. But y'all, black folks have got to start watching boxing more. I don't know what the fighters can do if they have to be more braggadocious, and I hated it because I don't want to feel like black fighters have to do that to get the black fan base enamored with them. But it seems like either you're going to be a knockout artist or you got to talk crazy for people to really watch you. You know, and it's crazy I say that because Deontay Wilder didn't start getting steam until like a few years ago, until he fought Tyson Fury for real. That's when the world really started really paying attention, honestly. And at that point, they saw him lose on that big stage. Nobody really, people should. I felt like, damn, as hard as he was knocking dudes out, you would have thought the black fan base would have been more enamored with him. Right? And I don't know, again, if they got to talk crazy, because Floyd got the world to tune into him by talking just crazy, playing the villain all the way through and through. And I hate that we got to do that, but it seems to be the case because there is no way Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Bud Crawford should have had less than 1 million pay-per-view buys. Just think about this. Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis had like, what, 1.5, 1.3 million pay-per-view buys? Terrence Bud Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. should have done more than that. I don't know what y'all thinking. Y'all thinking about the outcome of the fight. Well, it was a one-side beatdown. It was a one-side demolition. And it was. But going into that fight, nobody thought it was going to play out like that. Nobody. And if they told you they thought it was going to be like that, they're lying to you. They're lying. These two guys were top 5 pound-for-pound fighters. Right? I think Errol Spence was like number 5. Terrence Bud Crawford was number 1, I believe. These were like the top dogs, like 2 of the top dogs in the sport, vying for undisputed in the first undisputed welterweight champion in the 4-belt era. A phenomenal feat. And nobody, I didn't really feel like people were that enamored with it, maybe until the day of the fight. And even then, I felt like it should have been more ears and eyes tuned in to the fight. Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Bud Crawford showed about what? 800,000 pay-per-view buys, 700,000, something like that. And they sold less than Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis. That should not have been a thing, especially when these guys were more accomplished than both of these fighters. Both of these guys are more accomplished than Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia put together. Individually, they are on their own basis, but put together, oh my God, what? There's no comparison. And this fight didn't sell more than that fight. And the reason is, man, and this is why Tank Davis keeps fighting Hispanic fighters. Unfortunately, man, our community, we don't really watch these fights or really stand behind these fighters like that. When Mexican fighters fight, they whole country stand behind them. All the Mexican, not all of them, but a huge percentage of Mexican Americans watch these fighters fight. They watch their countrymen fight. Right? What's my man name? Manny Pacquiao, the whole Philippines watching them fight. Not every, again, I don't want to speak in absolutes, but a big bulk of Filipinos in America, they tuning into the fight. They coming to watch them fight, all of that. But it's not the same case for black fighters. They don't get that same type of support. And again, I don't know what the fighters can do to get them more in tune with the fights, but it's like, damn. This fight, I'm telling you, should have done at least 2 million pay-per-view buys at minimum. Floyd Mayweather fighting Logan Paul did 1 million pay-per-view buys. Logan Paul. Come on, man. So it should have been, this fight should have done mega numbers because of who these guys are and how much they accomplished in their career. But it's sad because they don't really talk shit like that. They don't talk crazy. That, one, the non-black fan base ain't gonna really pay attention to them like that. Because again, a black fighter, in order for even non-black fan bases to tune into them, they gotta either be knocking everybody out one by one. Now, Errol Spence had 22 knockouts. Bud had 30 going into this fight. Right? But either they knocking everybody out one by one, or they talk crazy. And because these dudes don't talk crazy, the non-black fan base didn't do enough to drive them into 1 million. So you're like, okay, black folks, we got to come out and support them. But again, the black Black folks don't really want to spend that dollar on them for whatever reason. Again, I know we don't have it like everybody else, and there's a lot of people, but I mean, the Hispanic population, they don't, they're not too far off economically or whatever, right? We in the same ballpark, but they spending their bread on it. They supporting their countrymen. So I don't know, man. It's like, when I think about it, when Floyd Mayweather fought black opponents, he didn't sell that well. When he fought Hispanic fighters, the numbers went through the roof. Canelo Alvarez, Oscar De La Hoya, him fighting Marcos Maidana, him fighting Manny Pacquiao was gonna do crazy numbers anyway, right? But yeah, man, like when he fought, that's why he kept fighting Hispanic fighters, because he knew it was gonna drive in a whole bunch of revenue, and that's why he has Tank Davis following the same formula. You want to make a lot of money in this sport. Forget the belts, forget all these achievements. Hey, get the money. And that's what Tank is doing. He's going to keep fighting Hispanic guys because he knows it's going to help bring in bread. And people really like the hood supports Tank. And I think it's because he's a knockout dude. He's a knockout artist and with a street background. What I'm talking about for the fighters like Devin Haney. For the fighters like Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford. For guys like Boots Ennis. It's like, it's hard for them to like Shakur Stevenson. It's hard for them to sell them big numbers. For the community to stand behind them to really be pay-per-view stars. Because again, to the non-black fan bases, the black fighters fight with a slick style, most of them. Most of them. Outside of Errol Spence Jr., all them dudes I named have a slick type of style to them. And the boxing public would call that running. They would call that, you don't do toe-to-toe. You doing that Mayweather style. You just trying to run around the ring and pot shot all day. All this and all that, even though these dudes are extremely gifted fighters. These dudes are some of the best pugilists you will ever see in this sport. But they don't get rewarded for that, because people want to see guys get knocked out left and right all the time. And so what happens is they don't get that support like that because the non-black fan bases, a lot of them don't really like that type of style. They want to see toe-to-toe, bang them, rock them, sock them robots, unless it's one of their guys. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's one of their guys. If it's one of their guys, they probably support it. They're going to buy it. They're going to, if he's a Mexican guy, they're going to support it. Floyd fighting Juan Manuel Marquez and all that, building up, fighting Hispanic fighters because he know those countries are standing behind those guys. Those countries stand behind those guys, and it's going to drive in the revenue, especially if they wanted to see him lose. But for the black fighters, man, if they just fighting regular top guys, it's not gonna have a selling effect. Even two black fighters fighting each other is really no real incentive. I mean, it is. I mean, you get paid. I'm like, they both left with $25 million, right? But what I'm saying is, I feel like the pay-per-view guys should have did some groundbreaking numbers, man. It really should have. It really should have. And we got to reward these fighters for giving us these fights we want to see. We all wanted to see this fight. And again, they got their bread. But what I'm saying is like, damn, they couldn't outsell Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather Jr.? These two, Terrence Bud Crawford and Errol Spence Jr.? What the hell happened right there, man? It's just like, I don't know. They don't... The fights aren't really connecting with the black fan base like that anymore, unless it's Tank Davis. That's why I said black folks only watch 96.9% of black people only watch fights when Tank Davis is fighting. You have people talking about the fight and clowning Errol Spence and we going for Bud. Some of my homies actually dudes what weight class Bud fighting in. They couldn't even tell them what weight class they fought in. They couldn't even tell them what weight class what weight class the fight was in that they was watching. So that let me know they ain't really paying attention to the fights, and we gotta support these fighters and buy these pay-per-views, because like the Mexican community, they stand behind their fighters. The Filipinos stand behind their dudes. The Argentinians, they gonna ride with the dude from Argentina. Puerto Rican, they gonna ride with dude from Puerto Rico, Floyd and Miguel Cotto. They gonna ride. But why you think Puerto Rican fighters versus Mexican fighters, they sell out the roof? Because they country's going to ride behind them and stand behind them. And the promoters are thirsty to make those fights because they know it's going to cash in a lot of revenue. Black fighters fighting each other. Hey, we got to see if the black community going to stand behind it. And in order for it to even just do remotely well, they have to be two all-time greats. But it ain't going to sell as much as the dudes from Mexico and Puerto Rico fighting each other. It ain't going to sell as well as the black dude fighting the Mexican guy. It ain't going to sell as well as the black dude fighting the Filipino guy. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, these dudes can be all-time great future Hall of Famers. And now in today's boxing, it's not going to sell the way it used to back in the day. You know? I don't know, man. It's like, damn, y'all. And again, a lot of the non-black fan bases not going to ride with these fighters like they would their own countrymen if they not doing rock'em sock'em robots, or if they not talking crazy. And when they talking crazy, they're really watching them to see them lose for the most part. You know, so it's like, dang, man, these dudes I'm like, I was hoping they would sell much more. They should have sold much more than that. Regardless of the outcome of the fight. Nobody saw that coming. They should have sold much more than that. But unfortunately, they were stuck at, what, 700, 800,000 pay-per-view buys. You know, so, yeah, man. There's no way Ryan Garcia and Tank should have outsold them. I can see if nobody was doing a million pay-per-view buys anymore, but come on, man. Canelo fighting Triple G. This fight was billed as better than that. For real. You know what I mean? So it's like, what is, like, I don't know, man. Black folks, we got to ride with the black fighters and stand behind them and support them. Just like the Mexican countrymen do they people, man. They going to make sure that we going to tune in and watch our guys get in the ring and scrap. So, man, that's just my opinion on it, man. Machiavelli Mills TV, I'm out. Peace.